morning. Hello, how are we all this morning? So we're here ready for number 3 in the August series. So we've already done part 1 and part 2, and today is all about core and lower limb strength. So just waiting for people to join. Now you don't need anything, you don't even really need a mat today, but sometimes it's nicer to have a mat to work on. But we will be doing a lot of work in standing today because it's core and lower limb. The only thing you may need is a blank wall behind you, because we're going to do some wall squats at some point. So just being mindful of maybe your space, and if you've got something available that you can do a wall squat. So I'm just going to come back now. So whilst you're all joining in, I'm just going to come back and we're going to make a start, but it's all going to be in standing. We'll do a warm up first of all, and then go through a bit of a routine which will strengthen our lower limbs, so strengthen our legs as well as our core. So hope you're all well this morning. As with all the other exercises, don't do anything that feels uncomfortable. If you're getting pain at any point, then just come out of the exercise. Or maybe do an easier version, okay? So we're just going to start with getting our legs moving and our arms moving into some marching. So today's session is going to be a little bit more dynamic, so we're going to get the heart rate up a little bit more than the other sessions. So just going to get the blood flow going first of all, swing those arms and just bring those knees up. And just try and bring them up a little bit higher now. So really sort of emphasise the knee to the chest. Trying to stay upright, nice and tall. Swing those arms. Getting the heart rate up, getting the blood flow moving. And then I just want you to pop your hands on your hips and then just start rolling your ankles. So if you have your weight on one foot and you're just rolling your ankles, so you're on your toe, and then just mobilising the ankle joint, and then same on the other side. So stand on one leg, just pop your toe on the floor and just roll your ankles. And then we're going to go up to knees, so stop bending the knees, so heel to bum. So keep the femurs pointing downwards, so your thighs are straight, and you're just flicking your heels behind you, waking up the hamstrings. Feeling the stretch through the quad at the front. You can even put your hands behind if you want and feel like you're sort of touching your hands. My knees won't allow me to do it this morning, so because I'm always stiffer in the morning and with the degenerate knees that I've got, won't allow me to do it. But just if you can, touch your bottom or touch your fingertips, brilliant. And then we're just going to go up to the hip joint and do some hip openers. So standing on one leg, bringing your knee up, opening up the hip joint, and then swapping over. Now with this, really feel like you're squashing your grapes under that supporting leg. So you're really nice and strong. Trying not to sort of twist your body with it. So try and just open up the hip joint on its own. So circle, you might feel some clunks and clicks. I certainly do. And then stand on your right leg, bring your left knee up to your chest. Ooh, it's a bit of balance as well this morning. And just really sort of hug it. So hug your knee to your chest, pushing down, really squashing those grapes of that supporting leg. And then point and flex the foot. So mobilising that ankle joint whilst holding the balance. Pop that foot back down. Squash your grapes on the supporting leg. So be strong on that supporting leg before bringing the other leg up. So we're now bringing the right knee up. So we're hugging it as close to your chest as you can. And then pointing and flexing the foot. So staying in that balance. Time to use your core to keep you upright, and then pop that back down. And then we're going to go into some squats. So widen your feet, turn your toes out slightly, and as you come down into your squat, you want to keep your knees in line with your toes. So we're going to go up and down first of all, and then I want you to listen to my cues. So with a squat, your knees should be coming sort of in line with your toes, not rolling in. So if your knees are rolling in like that, make sure the knees are in alignment. The other thing you don't want with your knee is that they're going over your toes. So if they're coming too far forward, you're going to load your knee joint. So make sure your bottom is going back and down instead, as if you're sitting on a chair. And to really engage the glutes and keep your knees in alignment, if you push through your heels and push through the outer edge of your foot, so almost like you're squashing your grapes under your heels and under the outer edge, and that will keep your knees in alignment and allow you to switch on your glutes. And then as we come up to the hip and the pelvis, just be mindful of you're not overshooting it and pushing your pelvis forwards on the way up. You're finishing in a straight line. So ankles, knees, hips, shoulders. You're coming up straight there, not coming up and pushing your hips forward, because that's just your back. So it's back and down. So if you're sitting on a chair, coming back up. And then all we're going to do is just hold it there. So I want you to come down into that squat. Feel like you're hovering on a chair. So just before you sit on the chair. So that sort of depth. Push down through the feet, in particular the heels and the outer edge. So really sort of squash your grapes. Keep your knees in alignment. Feel your quads. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now bring yourself back up. Well done. So this time we're going to go into a lunge in action. So we're going to do a backwards lunge. So one leg is coming behind, the other leg is staying forward. So you're just going to start, maybe have your right leg in front and your left leg goes behind initially. So the key for this, again, you want to have your knee in alignment. Don't let that knee roll in. So knee should be facing forward and in line with your midfoot. So don't let that knee come too far forward over your toes. So nice and strong in that front leg as you just bring the other leg back. So you're tucking your tailbone underneath you and keeping a nice upright posture. So now we're using our core as well in this, and then we're going to bring in our arms. So as you go back, arms go up towards the ceiling, and as you come forward, they come back down. So now we've got this rhythm going on. So arms are up. Think about squashing those grapes in that front leg. So 80% of your weight is through that front leg, through that front foot. You're squashing your grapes. Keep your core engaged. Be straight and aligned through your torso. And then we're just going to hold it there. Oh, I'm wobbling. Hold it in that position. And all I want you to do now, keeping that knee in alignment, if you bring your arms to 90 degrees, and then you just rotating in one direction, bring it back to the middle, rotating in the other. So think about, you've got a ball between your hands, and you're not changing the distance between your hands. So you're holding on to that ball as you rotate from one side to the other. Then bring yourself back up. Now you should feel that leg working already. So now we're going to do the same on the other side. So left leg goes in front. So just get the rhythm first of all of stepping back and coming back in. That front foot, think about the alignment. So as you go back, that knee is staying in line with your toes, it's not rolling in, and is staying in line with the midfoot. You're squashing through that front leg, as if you're squashing grapes into the floor. In particular, your heel and the outer edge, so that you keep that knee in alignment. Your core's engaged, so you're zipping up and in through the midsection, nice and strong through here. And then let's bring in the arms. So arms go up as the leg goes back, and then you're coming back in. So 80% of your weight is in that front foot. Nice and strong with the movement. Pushing down, squashing your grapes. So keep that rhythm going. Nice and strong. And then on this one, we're going to pause here. Then bring our arms to 90 degrees. Keep squashing through your grapes, yeah, and keep tapping your core as we then twist back to the middle, twist the other way. So really use your muscles around your waist. So this balance, core strength, lower leg strength. Last one, and then bring yourself back up. So you should feel your legs sort of working right now. They should have had a good workout. So what we're going to do now is work on a little bit of hip flexibility and hip strength. So hip flexor strength. Stand on your left leg, get your tuck of your tailbone, squash your grapes through that left foot before you lift your right leg up. So I want you just to balance here first of all. Are your shoulders and your pelvis, are they in sort of a straight line there, or are you leaning over? So can you maintain your posture? Can you use your core muscles, be strong in that leg, use your bottom and just lift one knee up and hold it here, maintaining your posture. So now you've got to use your core to keep an upright spine and pelvis. Also your hip flexors to lift that leg up. Pop that back down. Let's do the same on the other side. Squash your grapes of your right leg. Get your tuck, make sure your core's engaged. Keep level with your pelvis. So you're looking at a level pelvis here, so your hands are level, but also it's like a square. So you could draw a square from both pelvic bones up to your shoulder joints. So that doesn't move, so we're not leaning over. So think about getting everything switched on. Your glutes should be on, your lower abs, you should feel the front of your hip. Almost as you're squashing down and pushing away on that supporting leg and then lifting up with the other leg and then back down. So this time we're going to do that more dynamically. So go on your left leg, squash your grapes first, lift the right one up, and then we're just coming up and down, trying to maintain our position. So really get that knee up as high as you can. So now using your abdominal muscles as well as your hip flexors. Keep that going, well done. So you're probably all getting a bit hot and sweaty this morning, like me. Okay, let's swap. So squash your grapes on your right side, lift the left one up, keep your core engaged, try and keep central, try not to wobble as you go up and down. Well done, everybody. It's quite warm today as well, isn't it? I think we're in for a scorcher this weekend. And back down. Well done. Give your legs a little bit of a shake. So this time we're going to move our legs out to the side. So looking at our hip stabilizers, our glute med muscle. As you stand on your left leg, I want you to lift the right leg out to the side. Toes are pointing forward, but maintaining that pelvic alignment. And think about that square. So we're just going to lift and pulse here. Now you should feel the outer part of your hip working. Try not to lift through there. So try not to lift your leg up and it's actually your waist moving. Try and squeeze these muscles on the outer part of your hip and lift your leg from there. So it's a totally different movement. But it's a mistake that I see all the time. People moving their hip by using their waist rather than using the muscles around their hip. So core's engaged, squashing your grate through that supporting leg as you're just lifting out to the side, maintaining your posture, nice and upright. Now swap sides. So if you're standing on your right, and then go across to the left. So again, engage the core, keep this level, and we're only going out. So you can only move the hip joint as far as your mobility. If you feel like, oh, I'm not moving my leg far, and you go to lift it up higher, see how my waist comes in? So now I'm using my waist and my spine rather than my hip joint. I'm using the muscles around my hip joint. If you need to hold on to something for balance, just hold on. And then we're just pulsing there. So you're not letting the leg come all the way back down. Feel the squeeze through the outer part of your hip. Be strong in your balance. Last one. And then bring that back down. Give your legs a little bit of a shake. So now we're going to go back to our lunging movement, but we're going to bring in that hip flexion as well. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit more challenging. So if your right leg is in the front, your left leg is going behind, arms are coming up above your head, and then as you bring your arms down, the knee is then going to come up. So it's there, all the way up. So keep the squash to that supporting leg. Keep the knee in alignment. Try and maintain upright posture. Now, if this is too much, just go back to the first one where we did the lunge on its own without the hip flexion. Ooh, I'm wobbling. So slow it down, slow it down so you can control the movement. Oh, I've lost it now this morning, sorry. So think about control, squashing those grapes. Try not to have the wobble. So slow it so you've got control. Okay, give yourself a wiggle. Now we'll do the same on the other side. I'm hoping I'll be better on the other side. So squash your grapes, be strong in that supporting leg before you go into your lunge, and then you're driving up. So feel nice and strong and supported. Now very often, like I'm more stable on my left side, and that is because I'm right-footed. So if I was to kick a ball, I kick it with my right, which means I have to stabilise with my left to be able to kick it. So you'll probably notice that one side is easier than the other. Okay, well done. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. Now we're going to go back to our squats. This time we're going to use a wall. So if you can get yourself near a wall, I've actually taken my little picture off the wall. So we're going to do some wall squats. If you bring your feet out first, but keep them in line with your hips. So try not to have a wide base. So feet are in line with your hips. You're tucking your tailbone underneath you. And then you're just wiggling yourself down. So you might need to use your hands against the wall. You might need to bring your feet out a little bit. So you want to bring yourself down into like a 90-degree position. So ideally, if you can, have your knees and your hips level. Your knees are going forwards, they're not knocking in. So think about that straight line between your ankle, your knee and your hip. Tuck the tailbone underneath you. So make sure that you've got the squash of the core, and you should feel the back of your pelvis, your shoulders and your head all touch the wall. Now you can have your hands by the side, you can have your hands at front, you can pop them in your lap, you can pop them onto your knees. But I want you to think about, keep squashing through the feet, keep squashing your grapes. Keep holding yourself in that position. So keep the pressure the whole time, keep the tuck the whole time, nice and strong. And just breathe. Just hold in this position. Feeling the burn? And then we're just going to slowly come out. So you might want to use your hands to bring yourself out. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. Well done. So what we're going to do now is go onto the floor. So coming down on the floor, pop your arms by your side. So feet are in alignment, knees are bent, but knees are in line with your hip and ankle. Tucking the tailbone underneath you, peeling yourself up into a bridge position. So in your bridge, make sure first of all you've got ankles, knees, hips, feet, so everything's in alignment. Your knees are not splayed out, they're not coming in. Your pelvis is level here, so you're not tilted on one side. Feel the glutes work, so push through your heels a bit more to feel the glutes. And you're not overshooting your thoracic spine, keeping your rib cage down rather than using your back extensor. So keep that nipped in, so you've got this nice straight line position. And then all we're going to do is just lift one leg. So you're just straightening there. So trying to keep your thighs parallel if you can. Try to keep your pelvis parallel, so make sure you're not dipping through your pelvis. Push through the heel. Nice and strong through that supporting leg. Pop that foot down, and then same on the other side. So just straighten the knee, keeping the pelvis level. Keep pushing through the foot. Pop that foot down, swap sides. So just pausing and holding. Keep squashing through the grapes. Or through the floor, you know, as if you're squashing grapes into the floor. You know what I mean. So keep pushing down through that supporting leg, because that will keep the height and that will keep your glutes switched on. So we've just swapped over again. So this is the last one. Back down, and then as you come down, remember we're bringing the thoracic spine down first. So you're peeling yourself down, trying to hit every vertebrae onto the mat on the way down. And the next exercise we're going to do, we're going to go into our bridge, but it's going to be a dynamic movement. So if you push down through your right foot to squash your grapes, then tuck your tailbone, then lift your left leg into a 90-degree position, and then you're going to drive up, so pushing through that right foot, and we're coming up and down here. So you should really feel your glutes and your hamstrings working as you come in and out of that position. Remember, you still want to feel like you're peeling up and peeling down. Try not to overshoot it with your thoracic spine and lift your rib cage up. So keep this core engaged. Last one. And then bring the leg back down, and we're going to swap over. So squash your grapes through the left side, tuck your tailbone, get everything squished, like engaged before you lift that leg, and then you're lifting up and down. Think about peeling up and down, You really want to feel your hamstrings and your glutes in this position. Keep your pelvis level. Keep squashing those grapes. Last one. And then bring it back down. And then give yourself a full body stretch and a little bit of a wiggle. Well done. So now we're just going to finish off with just some flowing through our bridging with some arms overhead as well. Really think about using your core. So we're squashing our grapes through both our feet, tucking our tailbone underneath us. As we peel ourselves up, our arms go overhead, and as we come down, we're peeling one vertebrae at a time as we come down and the arms are lowering. So coming up. And as you come down, you can think about the exhale on the way down to help with that rib cage depression. Maybe inhaling on the way up, exhaling on the way down. But really keep strong through the feet. Make sure you keep the tuck of the tailbone. Don't let your rib cage flare. As you just come arms up and over, and then bringing it back down. And then just bring your knees to your chest. Give yourself a little bit of a hug and a back massage. And then if you pop your right ankle onto your left knee, and then reach down and grab your left thigh. So you're trying to bring it a little bit closer towards you. You can either hold your thigh or you can hold your lower leg. It's just to feel the stretch of the glute on the right hand side. So just start kind of breathing a bit deeper, a bit slower. Try to get the heart rate down. You can even do what I'm doing and sort of just circle your ankles as well, or point and flex your foot, just for a bit of ankle mobility at the same time. And then we're going to unravel and swap to the other side. So left ankle onto right knee, reaching down, holding the right thigh. So you're trying to bring it a bit closer to you, or you can hold it onto your lower leg, but it's just so that you can feel the stretch through here. You can have your head up or bring your head back down, just bring your thigh to your chest. And you can even roll the ankle up and down or point and flex. You can even do both if you wanted, if you want a bit of ankle mobility. And then unravel and bring that back down. And then feet nice and wide onto the mat. Just come into your windscreen wipers. Maybe even position your arms into like a cactus arm position as well. So you're allowing your knees to fall down, just rotating from the waist. Maybe even then put your fingertips together so that you're in more of a diamond shape with your arms, just to open up the chest. And then we're going to go onto our side, grab hold of your ankle and go into a quad stretch. So just bringing your heel towards your bottom, feeling the stretch through the front of your thigh. Trying to keep your knee level with your hip. And then release. Let's do the same on the other side. So coming down, grabbing hold of the foot around your ankle, bringing your heel towards your bottom, trying to keep your knee parallel with your hip. And release. And then just come onto your front. Just go into a child's pose. So nice and wide with your knees. Get your feet together and just reaching long into a child's pose. Trying to wiggle your fingertips. towards the top of the mat. And then bring yourself up. And all I want to do to finish off is let's just go into a hip flexor stretch. So one foot in front of the other, pushing forwards, keeping your pelvis in alignment, keeping yourself upright to feel the stretch through the front of your hip. And then coming back into a hamstring stretch, so straightening the front knee. And then let's swap over. So going into that hip flexor stretch first of all. So in that lunge position, keeping the pelvis pointing forwards, keeping upright, wiggling that front foot to feel the stretch through that back leg. So the hip flexor or the front of the hip there. And then coming back into your hamstring stretch. So straightening the front knee, bringing your body weight back. And then we're all done. So well done. So that was quite a intense session today. So get you all moving and hopefully you feel energized and ready for the day. So if you enjoyed those sessions, please kind of send me a message on Facebook and let me know what you liked about each session as well, what you found was positive, what you'd like to have more of. So my private Facebook group is actually starting in September. So in that group, it's called the Thrive Tribe, and in that group, members will be able to access sessions like this. So every Tuesday morning at 8 o'clock, I'll be going live in that group, but also there'll be pre-recorded videos that you can do. So my aim is that I'm making exercise and movement accessible. So people can tap into, a 5-minute session if they want. If they've got 20 minutes, they can do a 20-minute or half an hour, and they can fit it into the day. And also bring in routines in there, which are, you can do whilst you're sat. So maybe if you're sitting all day in work, you can actually do some little movements and exercises, and I'll give you little routines that you can fit into your day easily. And September's all about sort of posture and core strength. So looking at how we hold ourselves when we stand and when we sit, what muscles are working when we do that, and how we can improve our posture. So that is what's happening in September. So if you'd like to join me, then send me a message and I can send you the details. So have a good day all. Hope you enjoyed that. I'm feeling very hot and sweaty now, so hope you are too. And I'll see you soon.